Hey guys, so we're back with another self-care video. Make a list of the lessons that you have learned and see yourself persevering. Okay, so perseverance, okay, is huge. All right, before we get into that, let's get to the next card. Okay, and it says here, I am worthy and capable of accomplishing anything and everything that I want. It says take some time to list 3 or 4 things that you have already accomplished in your life. Take some pride in those achievements and notice how good they make you feel. Know that you can achieve and manifest anything that you set your mind on, okay? All right, and this is about confidence and self-esteem, okay? So we definitely want to like boost our confidence, our self-esteem, okay? Because it feels good to do things that we feel like we have accomplished. We want to set goals that are realistic and they are maybe even small goals right now that are going to lead to a really big goal, okay? So not everything has to be like these huge goals. Just because we have failed, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are never going to make it. Other people are not going to understand your lessons, and therefore it's really not their business to judge you for those lessons, okay? Or to get in the way or disrupt those lessons, okay? That needed to be learned, and we had to fail in order to learn, okay? You are capable and worthy of accomplishing anything that you want to in this life. I overcame homelessness, okay, with 6 children at the time, and I was pregnant. So, you know, it was like overcoming my abusers. It's okay if you do think that you are bound, stuck, or confused. It's not true, okay? All you have to do is get up, walk away, and let go. And a lot of people are actually afraid to let go, okay? And therefore they have a hard time accomplishing goals. They have a hard time having self-esteem and confidence, okay? Because they are allowing abusers, or they are allowing you know, groups of people that they might hang out with, okay, have some sort of a huge impact on their decision making, okay, because they care about what these people think more than they care about what God thinks and what lessons they're supposed to be learning, okay, in this lifetime. I failed for you guys. So anything that I talk about here on this channel, it's because I've actually already failed and I've learned, and so now I'm sharing my experiences with you, okay, to teach you guys some sort of insight or give you some sort of a helpful tip on maybe an example, or even just listening to these stories, kind of like, not Darman, but like, you know what I mean? My kids love Darman, by the way. And realize that it's okay to fail. Like, it is okay to fail. You know how many people don't have the balls to fail? You know how many famous people have failed? Okay, how many rich people have failed? Okay, you have to fail in order to learn, okay? Some of us are the type of people where we have to experience really harsh outcomes or lessons, okay, in order to learn. But I want to say those are the best lessons because we learn so deep. Like, the learning is like so, usually people like me or people like you that understand this, it's like we're really deep individuals. So it's like, it's because it took a lot for us to learn, okay? And it's like we had to learn because we had to understand the ins and outs of the lesson. I am someone who has to understand what it does, why it failed, why it didn't fail. I have to, you know, understand what, you know, makes it the way it does. Like, I'm one of those people, okay, that just have to understand why. Some of these things, again, like I said, were major failures of mine, okay? But you had the balls to try, right? Like, I had the balls to try things that other people didn't have the balls to try or wish that they could, because they're afraid of losing things. They're afraid of letting go. Or we can come off as intimidating because it's like, we have no fear. So for those of you that have no fear, high five, okay? It's like, we have no fear. We usually don't care what people think about us. And it's like, that's, I want to say, something to be proud of, because we can persevere and we do learn from our lessons. They might just not be in the way that somebody wants us to learn from them, but again, it's not their lesson to learn. So who are they to interrupt our lesson? Who are they to come in and tell us how we need to learn our lesson. I'm not here to tell you how to learn your lesson. I'm here to tell you that I have failed and I have learned, and I'm here to show you and teach you and guide you and give you some sort of insight or inspiration or motivation on how to get through these things, because if I've gotten through them, then so can you. You know, setting goals, making like some kind of a structure, order, discipline, okay? That is really huge on being able to get out of your failures, okay, I want to say, and to be able to move forward from your failures is setting a routine, setting boundaries, I want to say as well, okay, and order and discipline, okay, because you don't want anybody to come in and fuck up that structure, order, and discipline, okay, because I have also experienced that as well. And it was at a time where like I really worked really hard and like finally got, after all the shit was over, it was like I finally had gotten myself and the kids on like structure, order, discipline, and things were going great. And then all of a sudden, boom, like this person came in like a fucking tornado out of hell and fucked up everything just by being in like the energy. You know, if you guys are not going to set boundaries with people, okay, especially abusers, because they often will make sure that you don't have self-esteem. They don't want you to have self-esteem. They don't want you to know your worth. And they definitely want to use your failures as a way to pick at you and tear you apart, or to go along with their narratives and build their self-esteem off of it, okay? By making you look bad, feel bad, and staying down, all right? If you are definitely trying to set your goals and you are at a point where you are trying to manifest things, make sure that you are keeping your boundaries set in place and that you are not allowing your abusers to come in and ruin them, okay? Or you are not allowing, not even for a smidge, not even a smidge, don't allow them to cross that line, because once they do, you have to start over, and that's when karmic cycles come in again, and that's where failures come in again, and that's where lessons come in again, and that's where self-esteem and confidence come in again, and it gets fucking distorted. So understand how all of these things get in the way, and they all, one has to do with the other, okay? So people don't realize karmic lessons, karmic cycles. Often, usually when we are born into you know, abusers or abusive families, we will marry abusers, okay? And then we start having children with them. And so it's like this toxic cycle that just keeps going. So it's up to us to stop this cycle. It's up to us to cut it off. It's up to us to place boundaries. It's up to us to say no. Okay, so you have to understand that we want to make sure that we change the future and have a better lifestyle for not only ourselves, but for our children and for their children's children to come, right? We want to stop these kind of cycles from happening. And so in order to do that, we have to recognize it and we have to follow through with it, right? Because that's where we start creating the karmic cycles. And that's where, you know, a karmic person can destroy our entire mission in life, okay? It can destroy us, right? So we definitely don't want that, okay? So if you are somebody who's recognizing this and you have gone through karmic cycles over and over, and you kind of had this long, and now you're finally coming to a point where you're like seeing the light, definitely make sure that you do not let these people back in. You move on and you have new relationships and you're able to persevere. I'm going to name a few celebrities on here who I look up to, or not even look up to, but I guess I want to say like I respect. I find very inspiring, who were homeless, who were turned down multiple times by Jim Carrey, Oprah Winfrey, okay? And Biggie Smalls, okay? I really like Juicy is like definitely me and the kids song. Like I love that song. And so I actually played it in another video. Oprah Winfrey had experienced, you know, a miscarriage. She was turned down by a lot of stations. You know, people didn't think that she was gonna be a billionaire, okay? Jim Carrey was homeless, living in his car. Nobody thought he was gonna be successful, okay? And in like major, you know, getting major roles in movies. You know, nobody thought that, you know, a criminal was gonna be a major rap star and inspiration, right, to many, rapping about true and real life situations. And I'm sure many of us can relate in that sense, of course, of getting out of poverty and building something, right? He is definitely a huge definition of, and all these people are perseverance, right? you can be the definition of perseverance. Okay, believe in yourself, and it's all about believing in yourself and not allowing, right? And I feel like for sure Oprah Winfrey has definitely experienced abuse in her life, and it was like she didn't allow and of course the whole point of abusers, right? Abusers want you to be isolated. They don't want you to believe in yourself. They only want you to make it to a certain level so they can continue to abuse you. Because once you reach a level of success, it's like they can't reach you anymore. Once they can't reach you anymore, it's like, wait a minute. Like, where are they going to suck off of, right? What energy do they have to fucking suck off of, right? Who are they going to now bully? Who are they now going to spiritually, siphon your energy? Who are they going to use? You know what I'm saying? Now they got to move on to somebody else. And it's like, it's not going to be easy, you guys. This journey of failures, this journey of healing, this journey of leaving abusers in the fucking dust, okay? It's not going to be easy. It's just not, you guys. It's not an easy road. It's definitely not a breeze, okay? It's something you have to believe in yourself. You have to be willing to put in the work to fail. You have to be willing to keep going. You have to believe in yourself. Because if you don't, nobody else will. Oprah Winfrey went to college. Biggie Smalls ended up getting himself out of the fucking ghetto, right? He said no more housing, right? He talks about getting off of housing, celebrating every day, no more public housing, right? He talks about all that shit. And it's like Jim Carrey, he's in these major roles and he's, you know what I mean? It's like, and he talks about and openly talks about like mental illness. He talks about, basically putting ignoring the haters, right? It's like, who fucking cares what people think about you, right? He doesn't care what people think, right? These people don't fucking care what other people think about them, because if they fucking did, they wouldn't make it, right? They wouldn't be where the fuck they're at. All right? And just because these people are successful or they're rich or they have money, that also doesn't mean that they don't have their own internal battles, okay, that they were challenged with or still face, maybe even to this day. I don't know, because I don't know these fucking people, okay? But I do know that they definitely believed in themselves and they didn't care what anyone thought, and they were able to overcome their failures. Just because they were stuck in a rut did not define who they were. They persevered through that shit. If I can persevere through homelessness, if I can have 7 kids, okay, if I have been bred from a family of fucking narcissists and abusive fucking people that are too lazy to do the work and hate me for fucking doing shit that they wish they could do, well then whatever. Okay, I did the work. They didn't. You have to do the work. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fail. It's okay to fail. I had a student, because I was a teacher, a beauty instructor. Point is that when I was teaching, I remember one of my students, he's a great artist, okay? Microblading artist, awesome, okay? Permanent makeup, awesome student, okay? He was so afraid, okay? And we're practicing on, I give them paper, I give them fake skin, and then obviously I give them a model, right? Or they bring their own model, whatever. And it's like, this guy was so afraid of failing. He's like, but what if I don't do the line right? I'm like, so then you just do it again. I'm like, okay, well then don't make the line right? So what are you afraid of? We have like all these practice skins here. We have all this fucking paper. We have all these tools here for you to basically, trial and error on or make your mistakes, right? And it was like so funny because he was perfect at everything anyway. And I was like, seriously? And it was preventing him from moving forward, okay? And so the point is that once he realized that it was okay to make a mistake, he got that shit down. Really, even the mistake that he was afraid of making, he didn't even make it. So it was like, what are you afraid of? It's like you start placing these things in your mind that aren't even, they're not even real. It's an illusion. You actually don't ever fail. That's why I have checkmate here, because I never lose. You either win or you learn. You don't win or lose. You always win. You're never failing, actually. Having the balls to keep going and learning from your mistakes and seeing what's going to happen, right? And then showing and inspiring and telling others about it is like the greatest gift ever, okay? It's like the best thing ever, because I actually already, I tell my students, or I used to tell my students, like, I've already failed for you. So like, I'm just telling you now, because I'm somebody definitely who can tell you I've learned a lot through experience, not so much book wise. It's great to read books and stuff that you're interested in, but I'm definitely somebody who learns off of real life experience, real life situations, and real life failures, okay? And so, you know, definitely being ordered, structured, disciplined, okay, and practicing. Practice makes perfect, right? It's just like anything else that we want to be good at in life. It's like, okay, well, sometimes we just have to practice failing, okay, by failing first, and then fully understanding what it is that we're doing, or what happens when we do this, or what happens when we do that. And then realizing that that didn't work, but this did work for us. And so there's nothing wrong with being, you know, a failure or failing at something. It only becomes a true fail, okay, when you actually don't want to learn. When you don't want to learn from your trial and errors, and you keep making the same error over and over and over in a different situation with different people, in the same type of error. Does that make sense? And that's when things become a karmic cycle, and that's when you don't persevere, and that is when you stay stuck, and that's when you want to be on the victim bandwagon, and that's when you become an abuser, and that, my friend, is when you never learn. Okay? That's a fucking fail. All right? So remind yourself that even the smartest people, Einstein, has failed. He learned and figured out that by doing the same thing over and over and over and not getting any result is equivalent to insanity. It's literally insanity. And doing the same thing repetitively over and over and over and over again without seeing any kind of result or improvement is actually insanity. Okay? You will drive yourself insane, you guys. Literally, you will drive yourself insane. Don't do that. With each failed attempt, make a list of the lessons that you have learned. What did you learn from these major issues? What did you learn, right? Obviously, you have to build some type of boundaries with people, because it's often the people that we allow in our life to come in and fuck up shit for us, okay? Or we get influenced to do the wrong thing, okay? Or we get distracted easily. And if you know you get easily distracted, then maybe you should just pull your energy away from people, okay, that you know are not probably the best people to be around, okay? So definitely, you guys, I hope that this video helps. I hope that it brings some kind of, you know, it boosts you in wanting to set goals, and definitely putting your foot down and keeping them. And definitely, I hope that this helps in creating more and better self-esteem and confidence in your failed attempts. Okay, but definitely structure, order, discipline, and boundaries, you guys. Okay, be the definition of perseverance. Be the shining light that you're intended to be, and definitely live out to your purpose. Okay, by achieving your goals, by building your self-worth and confidence. Okay, by learning from your failures, guys. And I will talk to you later. Have a great day.
Thank you.